personally, for all the wonderful messages of support and for your understanding.
The royal family has just dropped a shocking announcement that has left the world reeling. For decades, the public has followed their every milestone, from royal weddings to new arrivals, but this time, the news is heartbreaking. Insiders say it's deeply personal and affects members of the family in ways no one could have expected. Details are scarce, but sources close to Buckingham Palace describe the situation as tragic, sudden, and emotionally charged. The announcement is being treated with the utmost sensitivity, yet it's already sending ripples across the globe. For fans who have followed the monarchy for years, this is a reminder that behind the crowns and palaces are real people, facing struggles just like anyone else. Speculation is spreading quickly. Who is affected? How will this change family dynamics? And what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Social media is flooded with reactions, some sympathetic, some in shock, and many expressing deep concern for the family. This isn't just a story about titles or protocol. It's about the human side of royalty family, vulnerability, and the moments that make them relatable to the world. As the palace works to manage the situation, one thing is clear: this announcement will have lasting emotional effects and could redefine how the public sees the royal family forever. The royal family has long been a symbol of tradition, poise, and public duty. But behind the formal appearances and media coverage, there is a family dynamic that is rarely exposed. Today, Buckingham Palace has confirmed a tragic development that has stunned royal watchers worldwide. While the official statement was measured and diplomatic, the emotional weight of the news cannot be overstated. Insiders say that this announcement affects a key member of the royal family and carries deep emotional implications for those closest to them. Though the palace has maintained privacy, hints suggest it involves both personal health and family responsibilities, matters that are both delicate and complex. For a family that thrives on public image and ceremony, such a deeply human crisis is both difficult and rare to share openly. The timing of the announcement has added to the shock. Occurring just as attention was focused on lighter news celebrations, engagements, and public appearances, the contrast has made the revelation even more poignant. Fans across the globe have reacted with empathy and disbelief, expressing solidarity and support across social media platforms. This tragic development also highlights the pressures faced by the royal family. From expectations of public perfection to the scrutiny of every move, they are constantly under observation. Yet today's announcement reminds the world that behind the palace walls are individuals grappling with real struggles. It is a reminder that royalty, despite their elevated status, are human, and human experiences, joy, grief, fear, and hope, are universal. As more details emerge, the story is expected to evolve, shedding light on how the family will cope and what steps they will take to manage both personal and public consequences. This announcement may also influence public perception of the monarchy, underscoring their resilience, vulnerability, and dedication to family, even under intense scrutiny. As the world processes the royal family's tragic announcement, more context is beginning to emerge from those familiar with the situation. While Buckingham Palace remains carefully measured in its public statements, insiders say the emotional weight behind the scenes is far heavier than the public realizes. The affected family member, described as deeply beloved within the royal circle, has reportedly been facing escalating challenges for months, challenges that were known only to a very small group of trusted individuals. According to royal observers, the palace had been preparing for the possibility of a public statement, but the timing of this announcement indicates that circumstances may have taken a sudden turn. This wasn't planned for today, one source shared. Something changed. Something forced the announcement sooner than expected. The news has especially shaken younger members of the royal family, who were reportedly present when discussions were made about how to address the public. The seriousness of the situation has led to cancellations of scheduled appearances, private travel plans, and increased security around certain estates. These changes, though subtle, are being closely analyzed by royal watchers who note that the family only takes such steps during moments of true crisis. Social media has erupted with theories, some compassionate, others intrusive, but the palace's silence is deliberate. For now, the royal household is prioritizing privacy, unity, and the emotional stability of those most directly affected. This rare and fragile moment has reminded many just how protected the family tries to be when facing sensitive challenges. What stands out most is the overwhelming public reaction. Thousands have expressed sympathy, sending messages of hope and heartfelt encouragement. Despite occasional criticism, the royal family remains a worldwide symbol. And moments like this prove how deeply people still feel connected to them. Royal historians note that the monarchy has weathered countless storms, political upheavals, family scandals, and global crises, but personal tragedies always strike the hardest. These moments test the strength of the institution, not through protocol, but through resilience, compassion, and the unwavering support the family offers one another. As the situation develops, palace advisors are quietly coordinating with medical professionals, senior relatives, and communication teams to navigate the days ahead. Their priority remains clear: protect the vulnerable, support the grieving, and uphold stability during a moment of genuine heartbreak. Despite the uncertainty, one thing is becoming increasingly evident: this announcement marks a turning point. Whether it leads to shifts in responsibilities, changes in public duties, or new roles within the monarchy, the ripple effects will be significant. For a family rooted in centuries-old tradition, such moments leave lasting marks on both their legacy and their humanity. More updates are expected. But for now, the world watches with empathy, praying for strength, healing, and unity within the royal family as they face one of their most difficult challenges in years. In the hours following the tragic royal announcement, a clearer picture has slowly begun to emerge, one that paints a heartbreaking reality for those closest to the affected family member. Royal insiders, speaking with uncharacteristic solemnity, described the atmosphere inside Buckingham Palace as heavy, tense, and emotionally overwhelming. Staff members who have served for decades say they haven't seen the family this shaken since the loss of Queen Elizabeth II. Sources reveal that Prince William, who has always been seen as a pillar of strength, is struggling deeply with the news. While known for maintaining calm under pressure, he has reportedly withdrawn from all briefings and engagements, choosing instead to remain beside the family member at the center of this crisis. His sense of responsibility toward the crown, the public, and his family has intensified the emotional burden he now carries. Princess Kate, still recovering from her own recent health struggles, is said to be offering unwavering support from behind the scenes. Her focus, as always, is on her children's emotional well-being. The young royals were shielded from the details initially, but sources say the family has now begun preparing them gently for what lies ahead. For William and Kate, protecting their children from distress while managing their own is proving to be one of the hardest challenges they've ever faced as parents. Elsewhere, within the royal circle, King Charles has reportedly been in constant communication with advisors and senior relatives. Though already coping with his own health issues, he is determined to maintain stability during this painful moment. Those close to him say the king is heartbroken yet resolute. Man trying to lead a family through grief while carrying his own. The announcement has also affected the extended family. Princess Anne, known for her quiet strength, has stepped in to handle several postponed duties to lighten the burden on William. Prince Edward and Sophie, both long-standing pillars of loyalty, have been described as the emotional anchors of the household during this difficult time. For the public, speculation continues to swirl, and the palace's decision to remain guarded has led to even more questions. However, royal experts insist this level of privacy is not only expected but essential. This is not political. It is not ceremonial. This is personal. And personal grief, even for the world's most watched family, requires space. Yet despite the heavy silence, one thing is abundantly clear: this incident will reshape the royal landscape. Whether it prompts William to adjust his future role, influences decisions about public engagements, or deepens the family's desire for a more private life, the aftershocks are bound to be significant. But beyond titles, duties, and centuries-old traditions, what we're witnessing is something profoundly human. A family extraordinary in status, but ordinary in emotion, facing a devastating moment with vulnerability and courage. The world waits, hopeful and anxious for the next update. For now, messages of comfort continue pouring in from every corner of the globe, reminding the royal family that even in tragedy, they are not alone. As the world continues to absorb the tragic announcement from Buckingham Palace, the royal family now finds itself entering the most challenging phase, facing the future. What began as a sudden and devastating revelation has gradually transformed into a moment of unity, reflection, and resilience within the royal household. Those closest to the situation say that while grief remains heavy in the air, a quiet strength is building among the family members. Prince William, who has always been shaped by responsibility, is now confronting a crossroads in both his public and personal life. This tragedy has reminded him of the fragility of the family he has dedicated his life to protecting. Insiders reveal that he is reevaluating upcoming commitments, determined to prioritize his role as a son, husband, and father before anything else. While the world often views him as the future king, today he stands simply as a man doing everything he can to support those he loves. Princess Kate, still navigating her own recovery, has reportedly drawn closer to William in ways outsiders rarely see. Their partnership, often described as strong but steady, has deepened as they face this moment together. In private, she has taken on the role of emotional caretaker, ensuring that their home remains a place of calm for their children. For William, Kate has become his greatest source of strength at a time when every decision feels heavier than the last. King Charles, though physically and emotionally tested, has stepped up with a renewed sense of duty. Advisors say he has made it clear that he will not allow this tragedy to destabilize the monarchy. While he grieves privately, publicly he maintains a steady presence, proof that leadership does not pause for heartbreak. Behind closed doors, however, he has expressed profound concern for his family's emotional well-being, urging them to lean on each other rather than shoulder the pain alone. As for the public, reactions have ranged from sorrow to shock, with global messages of sympathy flooding royal channels. Crowds have gathered outside Buckingham Palace, leaving flowers, cards, and quiet prayers. It is a reminder that even in an age of scrutiny and criticism, millions still carry a deep admiration for the royal family and feel their pain as if it were their own. Experts believe this moment may reshape how the monarchy moves forward. More privacy, fewer public appearances, and a renewed focus on family unity are all being discussed behind the scenes. Some even suggest this tragedy may inspire a long-overdue conversation about the pressures placed on royal life and the human beings behind the titles. Yet in the midst of sorrow, there is also hope. Those close to the family report that this crisis has brought them closer than ever before. Shared grief has opened old conversations and healed quiet distances that formed over years of duty and expectation. In tragedy, they have rediscovered the power of togetherness. What comes next remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. This heartbreaking announcement has reminded the world that the royal family, despite its crowns, palaces, and rituals, is still a family. A family navigating loss, holding on to each other, and trying to find light again after one of their darkest moments.